So, starting a smartphone brand is really hard. It's very competitive in the market, and especially about phones that are like 500-600 euros around that price. It's simply very competitive and margins are very low. So, what can you do if you are a new brand? Well, you can simply hype it. So, let's talk about nothing and the problem with hyping it too much. Now, to begin with, I have nothing against hyping a phone, especially if you are a new brand. It definitely is harder to get into that market, as stated. With that being said, overhyping it is definitely a problem. If you produce something and you showcase something where people are like, oh, I need to have that, and then you come out with a product that is pretty much normal, then yeah, you're overhyping it and it will actually be your downfall instead of something that allows you to grow in a consistent manner. It's a pattern where you shoot up all of a sudden and then you drop. That's a problem that you can definitely have with overhyping it. And nothing at the moment for me feels like it's overhyping too much. Again, I get that they want that hype behind the brand itself. But think about it. When you of course drop the feature of LEDs behind it, what are you left with? That is what matters, because that's the core base. That's where it starts. That's what most people tend to use. The display, the phone itself, the software experience, and so on. That is where it truly matters. The LED lights are a nice idea behind it, but honestly, if I see myself, I'll probably use it for 1 or 2 days, and then after it I'm like, I don't really care. Normally I have the display facing me, so why would I care about it? And yes, in the video of Marquez, we actually can see that those lights work on the sound that it produces, or somewhat. It depends on how much customization you have with that. Can you, for instance, use your own sound and then have that light respond to it? I don't think it's that difficult to, of course, accomplish that. But again, that's a real question that I have when it comes to a device like this. And again, what's the use of it after a few days? Do you see yourself, for instance, using a feature like that after a few days? Or are you someone that is like, yeah, I care for it now, but after a week or so, yeah, I'm pretty much done with it. And I think that's the biggest problem. And of course, there's also a problem of selling it before actually any specs are known. Yes, there are leaks about the Snapdragon 778 chip inside, of course, and of course the cameras a little bit, but overall, yeah, people don't really know the specifications. They aren't confirmed, and yet they are selling phones via a system where you can actually bid against each other. And then if you look at the prices where some phones went for, I think I saw a top of around $3,000 for a phone that comes with the Snapdragon 778 inside. It's not a flagship. And of course, I know there's a niche to it. And of course, I know that there are numbers on it from 1 to 100. But around $3,000 for a phone? Yeah, that's kind of mental. Especially if you can see a market where it simply crashes afterwards, where the hype died. And then, well, what are you left with? Well, a phone that you paid a lot of money for that doesn't have the specs to justify it. With that being said again, I do get that they are trying to do this approach. Producing a phone is very, very expensive, and yes, they of course have made earbuds beforehand. But with that being said, I doubt that the earbuds alone give them enough funds to of course produce phones like this. It's really expensive to do so. And yes, I'm aware that you can share of course some parts from other brands as well. Heck, it happens a lot when it comes to brands like Xiaomi, Poco and so on, that they share parts with each other to create a different phone. And this can definitely happen when it comes to, of course, the Nothing phone or the Nothing Phone 1. But again, you are starting from scratch. And yes, when it comes to having a bag like that, there are some customizations that you need for, of course, your PCB or something else that you put inside to control, of course, those lights. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the main PCB. Either way, what do you think about the Nothing phone? Do you think that it deserves the hype that it's getting, or is it simply overhyping too much? And what do you think about the Snapdragon 778 inside? For myself, I think they should have gone with the Snapdragon 870 inside, especially because it's an in-flight system only at the beginning where you can buy the phone, so it's limited numbers, which sounds very familiar to a certain other brand where Carl Pie comes from. Anyway, but yeah, I would have loved to see, of course, the Snapdragon 870 inside. One of the best CPUs you can currently put in your phone. It's very efficient. It doesn't throttle at all. Well, maybe if you push it really hard, but it really doesn't throttle compared to, for instance, the Snapdragon 888 or the 8 Gen 1. So let me know what you think about the Nothing phone. And of course, the approach to, of course, hyping it up as much as they are currently. And of course, what you think about this video that is definitely about nothing. I'm so sorry for that joke. It's so dumb. But here we are, I said it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like. Comment below what you think about the hype itself, and of course, if you aren't subscribed yet, hit subscribe and hit the bell icon. Talk to you guys in the next.